Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding out that every airplane, train, car, ship, and road has disappeared. If you wanted to visit another country, what would you do? Most of us would probably give up immediately. But for almost all of human history, this was normal. There were no GPS maps, no hotels, no passports, no engines. Yet somehow our ancestors managed to spread from one small part of Africa to almost every corner of the Earth. Today, humans live on every continent, from the frozen Arctic to tiny islands in the Pacific Ocean. But how did people who had no modern technology travel thousands of miles across deserts, mountains, forests, oceans, and even ice? The story is much more incredible than you might imagine. Scientists believe that modern humans first appeared in Africa around 300,000 years ago. For a very long time, humans stayed there, hunting animals, gathering fruits, and learning how to survive in different environments. Then, around 60,000 to 70,000 years ago, something changed. Groups of humans slowly began leaving Africa. Notice the word slowly. They did not wake up one morning and decide to travel to Europe or Asia. They were simply looking for food, fresh water, safer places, or following the animals they hunted. Imagine you live in a village where food becomes harder to find every year. One family walks a few miles away to find better hunting grounds. Their children grow up there. Years later, those children move a little farther. Generation after generation, people slowly spread across the land. No single person ever realized they were traveling across an entire continent. It was like moving one neighborhood at a time until, centuries later, your family had crossed half the world. This slow movement is called migration, and it is one of the biggest reasons humans spread across Earth. At that time, the planet also looked very different. The Ice Age was still affecting much of the world. Huge amounts of Earth's water were locked inside giant glaciers. Because so much water was frozen, sea levels were much lower than today. Places that are now underwater were once dry land. One of the most famous examples is a place called Beringia. Today, Russia and Alaska are separated by the Bering Strait, but during the Ice Age, this area became a wide land bridge stretching hundreds of miles. Ancient humans simply walked across it. They probably had no idea they were entering an entirely new continent. They were just following animals like mammoths, bison, and reindeer. Eventually, these people became some of the first humans to reach North America. Think about that for a second. One simple decision to keep following food eventually led humans into a completely new part of the world. The same thing happened many times throughout history. Instead of making one giant journey, humans made thousands of tiny journeys. One family moved, then another. After hundreds or thousands of years, those tiny steps became enormous migrations. But walking alone cannot explain how humans reached places surrounded by water. Australia is one of the biggest mysteries. Scientists believe humans reached Australia around 50,000 to 65,000 years ago. Even during periods of lower sea levels, they still had to cross stretches of open water. That means ancient humans were already building boats long before most people think. These were probably simple rafts made from logs, bundles of plants, or hollowed tree trunks. Imagine standing on a wooden raft with nothing but a stick to paddle, looking at water stretching to the horizon. No weather forecast, no life jacket, no rescue boat, just courage and hope. It sounds terrifying today, yet somehow they made it. Many people assume ancient humans were primitive, but surviving these journeys required incredible intelligence. They had to understand rivers, tides, wind, stars, weather, animals, and seasons. One mistake could mean death. Crossing a river with strong currents, walking through freezing mountains, traveling across deserts with little water. Every journey was dangerous. Predators made things even worse. Lions, giant bears, saber-toothed cats, wolves, crocodiles, and many other dangerous animals lived alongside humans. Imagine walking through a forest at night with no flashlight, knowing something larger than you could be hiding nearby. Ancient humans faced dangers like this almost every day. So why keep moving? Because staying in one place could be even more dangerous. Food might disappear. A drought could dry up rivers. Volcanoes could erupt. Climate could suddenly change. Sometimes moving was the only way to survive. Another fascinating question is how ancient humans knew where they were going. The simple answer is that they usually did not. There were no maps, no street signs, no satellite images. Instead, they learned from nature. The position of the sun helped them understand direction during the day. At night, the stars became a giant map in the sky. Many traditional cultures still use stars for navigation today. They also remembered mountains, rivers, unusual trees, rock formations, and coastlines. These natural landmarks became their GPS. Some groups even memorized long routes by turning them into songs or stories. Imagine remembering every road in your city without writing anything down. Now imagine remembering thousands of miles of travel entirely from memory. That is exactly what many ancient people did. As humans spread into new environments, they became experts at adapting. People living in cold regions learned to sew warm clothing from animal skins. Those living near oceans became skilled fishermen. People in forests built different tools than those living on open grasslands. Instead of changing nature, they learned to change themselves. This ability to adapt is one of the greatest human superpowers. Think about how different life is today. If you move from India to Canada, you buy a warm jacket. If you move to Australia, you wear lighter clothes. Humans are incredibly flexible. That same ability helped our ancestors survive every environment on Earth. But traveling was not only about survival. Humans are naturally curious. Even today, people enjoy hiking, road trips, and exploring places they have never seen before. That curiosity likely existed tens of thousands of years ago as well. Someone probably climbed a hill simply to see what was on the other side. Someone followed a river to discover where it ended. Someone wondered what was beyond the horizon. Curiosity pushed humans forward just as much as hunger did. As generations passed, travel became easier. People invented better tools, better boats, better shelters. Eventually, they learned farming. Agriculture completely changed travel. Instead of constantly moving to find food, many people settled permanently. Villages became towns, towns became cities. But travel never stopped. People still traveled to trade, explore, visit family, and discover new lands. Trade routes slowly connected civilizations across continents. One famous example is the Silk Road. Although much later than early human migration, it showed how people could connect cultures thousands of miles apart without modern transportation. Ideas traveled alongside people, languages spread, religions spread, technology spread, even foods traveled. Imagine a world where tomatoes stayed only in South America or where spices never left India. Many of the foods we enjoy today exist because humans kept traveling. Scientists continue discovering new evidence about ancient journeys. By studying DNA, they can trace how different populations are connected. Tiny pieces of ancient bone reveal where people lived and where their ancestors came from. Stone tools tell us which routes humans used. Even pollen trapped in ancient soil helps researchers understand the environments people crossed. Every new discovery fills another missing piece of humanity's greatest adventure. Perhaps the most amazing part of this story is that every person watching this video carries a piece of that journey inside them. Your ancestors survived countless dangerous migrations. They crossed rivers, walked through deserts, climbed mountains, escaped predators, survived freezing winters, built boats, raised families, and kept moving. If even one generation had failed, you would not be here today. The fact that billions of people now live across the planet is proof that those ancient travelers succeeded. The next time you complain about a delayed flight or traffic on the highway, remember this. Your ancestors once crossed entire continents on foot, without maps, without roads, without engines, without knowing what waited ahead. Their greatest tool was not technology. It was determination. Human history is not just the story of kings, empires, or inventions. It is the story of ordinary people taking one more step forward. One family, one camp, one generation at a time. Those small steps eventually carried humans from a single corner of Africa to every continent on Earth. And in many ways, we are still following the same path today. We continue exploring new countries, climbing the highest mountains, diving into the deepest oceans, and even preparing to travel beyond our own planet. The journey that began with ancient humans walking across wild landscapes has never truly ended. It is simply continuing in a new direction.